Alright, what I've got for you today is a Browning T-Bolt. It's kind of a rare rifle. It's got some quirks to it that I don't particularly care for, and I know that's going to put me at odds with the big fan base that this rifle has. Now, some of the features that I don't like on this rifle are actually fixed on the new model T-Bolt. This is an old model T-Bolt that has a couple quirks to it. But some of them are actually fixed on the new one. I can't review the new one because I don't have one, but I do have an old model T-Bolt, and I know even these have a pretty big fan base. In case you didn't know what a T-Bolt is, instead of being a traditional bolt action, this has a T-style locking system where it's just a straight pull, like some of the Canadian and European service weapons that you saw during World War II. K31, I can't remember offhand what they're called, Smiths-Rubin. But anyways, it's sort of like those. Not exactly the same setup, obviously, but it's a 22 version of a straight pull. And that has a lot of appeal to some people. I think that Browning made a very good, very accurate rifle, but what they did was try to make something different. But in my opinion, it's different for the sake of being different rather than different for the sake of having some advantage over a traditional bolt action. My problem with this is that you have no mechanical advantage in doing this. This is actually pretty rough. When you're closing the bolt here, it kind of you hit a little bit of pressure here, and you have to force it forward, which jiggles the rifle a little bit. So the whole point of this is that I don't have to move my cheek. I can keep my cheek weld when I do this, but that little bit of jiggling at the end really just throws off your shot anyways. So there's not much of a point to it, in my opinion. Now, having said that, I do like this rifle. It is very accurate. We'll go ahead and do some shooting here at about 35 yards there. I've got a target already set up. So I don't hate this rifle. I just think it's kind of different for the sake of being different. This rifle is actually for sale. I'd rather have a CZ455 and .17 HMR than this rifle, and I've got enough bolt action 22s that I love already that are just as accurate as this rifle. But we'll get to that later. Let's show you some shooting and show you why there is a fan base for this rifle, why people do love it, because it is a very accurate, very cool little gun. It's just kind of quirky in my opinion. One of the things they did fix, it is empty, is this safety here. This safety, it looks like something you would push forward, but it's not. You can push on it all day and it's not going to do anything. It's actually flips up, which is kind of odd, awkward to use in the field. I don't particularly like it. It works fine, but I don't particularly like that. On the new T-bolts, it's actually back here. The safety is right here. It's been redesigned quite a bit, and I would be interested to try it out, one of the new T-bolts. It also has a higher capacity magazine from what I understand. This is only a 5-shot, which is kind of small for a rifle that's pretty much built around being able to fire accurately and quickly. But they solved that problem, I guess, as well. It's a neat looking rifle. I do enjoy it, but it's just not my thing. I'll show you my Mossberg 46M in a moment and compare it to it. So let's just get to shooting. I've talked long enough. Let's try this. Now, like I said, this is an original Browning T-Bolt. It does not have the new style, I believe they call it a Helix magazine, double Helix magazine, that holds 10 rounds. This one is only 5. It's just a normal stick mag you see on just about any 22 from that era, which is kind of limiting for this rifle, because you can actually cycle this round fast enough to stovepipe it. I actually did it earlier. You have to be moving pretty quick. I was seeing how fast I could fire with it. But the real advantage to this rifle is its accuracy, and that you can keep a cheek weld while you're firing. Now, I'm pretty good with bolt actions. They're my favorite. As I said before, this isn't really necessary for me, but it is nice. I can see why people absolutely love this rifle. It's just not my sort of thing. But I'll show you why maybe you will love this rifle. Did it again. See, it's that last little click when you go forward that kind of screws you up. See, when you throw it forward, it's that last little click where the little pin slips into place. It locks the breech closed. That's what kind of screws you up in your shot, because you just have to twist the rifle a little bit when you do that. Otherwise, if this action was smoother, it would be amazing. But that one little click, that's the only thing that throws me off with this rifle. It's not as smooth as the bolt action, because you have no mechanical advantage from doing this. With the bolt, with the normal bolt action, as I'll show you at my Mossberg 46M, you have some mechanical advantage because of the leverage of the bolt. With this, you're just throwing back and forth. You're using just your strength to close the bolt, which isn't much. It's very light, but it's enough to throw the rifle off a little bit. So let's go check the target. At 30 yards, pretty much putting them right on top of each other in the black there. Now the Mossberg 46M has a, I believe, 12-round tubular magazine. You've seen this rifle in many other videos I've done. It's one of my favorites. I'm only going to be using 5 rounds in this because that's all I need. That's all the T-bolt holds, so I'll give it a fair comparison. Accuracy, no scope on this one. T-bolt, you have to use a scope. It originally came with a peep sight on the back, but they're running $100 right now, and the one I have didn't come with one. So that one has a scope. This one has a peep sight, but I do just fine with peep sights, as you know.